All right, guys. In our last session, you entered the city of White Willow from the north, moving west, scouting the western battlements for any sign of Cass. The battlefield outside the walls was littered with fallen zombies and broken siege equipment, an eerie stillness hanging in the air. As you moved further into the city, you came across the demolished gates. There, standing in the courtyard with his back turned, was Cass. Splitting up, you took positions with Might and Saxi on the walls for a better vantage point, while Tronald, Celestia, and Raarh moved in closer. Cass, sensing your presence, turned and issued a chilling ultimatum, offering mercy to those who kneeled and promising death to those who resisted. Tronald's defiant response triggered a fierce battle. Cass unleashed a devastating dark energy, summoning a black hole that tore into Tronald and Raarh, followed by summoning 2 flame skulls. The fight was intense, with Raarh landing powerful strikes and Saxi's steel defender delivering critical blows. Tronald, polymorphed into a giant orange ape by Celestia, dealt the final blow, tearing Cass apart limb by limb. As Cass's form turned into snowy slush, Tronald's Arcana check revealed the truth. It was a simulacrum. The revelation dawned just as you heard a slow, mocking clap from behind. Turning around, you saw Mordrin, her fiery red hair and vibrant green eyes blazing with malevolence. Beside her stood a familiar figure, a dark elf. Gilow.
Gilow, it's so great to see you, man. It's been a crazy journey. There's so much we need to fill you in on.
Yeah, we've seen so much. Monks, goblins, and a weird lich creature where I got a cool sword.
Hi, I'm Celestia. We haven't met.
And I'm Might. I'm a cat man.
I can't believe you're here, man, but what are you doing with Mordrin?
Stop acting like you give a damn, Tronald. Because you don't. None of you do. You left me for dead in Rick's Manor. Remember that? So spare me the fake pleasantries. You didn't care then, and you sure as hell don't care now.
Of course we cared, Gilow. We just didn't have the tool set to do anything about it. You died saving our asses, putting up one hell of a fight, but it was too late to do anything about it. Rick killed you, and by the time we got a chance to make a move, you were beyond any healing we could have delivered. We were devastated, man. Losing you hit us hard, but we didn't have the power to bring you back. Don't you think we would have if we could?
You just can't help yourself, can you?
What do you mean?
What I mean is that you're a fucking liar, and you all make me sick. You didn't try to save me. What you did was toss me aside like some worthless trash while you marched on without a second thought. Maybe, just maybe, I could forgive the sheer stupidity and your blatant disrespect if you had tried to come back for me. But did you? No. You forgot about me and left me to rot. And when you finally got the power to bring someone back, you chose Celestia without even a flicker of thought for me. I was nothing to you, just a disposable piece in your game. That's the truth. So why don't you try it for once, Tronald?
It's me you should be pissed at, Gilow. I was the one who threw you out. I was an idiot back then, acting out of impulse. I made a terrible mistake, and I've been carrying that guilt ever since. You deserved better.
No, I'm not pissed at any of you. I'm actually quite thankful, truly. You opened my eyes to this world. Vizuriel has opened my eyes to this world. So I don't want your pity, and I don't want your apologies. What I want is quite simple. I just want you to die. I want you to feel what I felt.
Dude, are you serious right now? Are you even thinking this through? You were killed by Rick. Therefore, you were killed by a subordinate of Vizuriel. How can you think for a moment that attempting to kill us would be in any way vengeance? You're directing your anger at the wrong people. We're not your enemies, Gilow. Vizuriel and his minions are. You're playing right into their hands by turning on us.
Through all your intelligence, you really are stupid, Saxiron. You turned your back on me. You left me to the fucking carrion birds and maggots. Oh, I've been watching you for a while, and it's nice to see how important other people have become to you all. Yeah, it's truly heartwarming to see just how little I meant to you. But look around. You're on the wrong side. This city is finished. Cass, the real Cass, has already taken control of it all. Vizuriel brought me back to life because he saw potential in me. Potential that you all laughed at, ignored, and dismissed.
We didn't ignore anything.
Do you have any idea what it feels like to be abandoned by those you thought were your friends? To be left to die in agony, knowing that the people you trusted didn't care enough to even try to save you? Vizuriel gave me a chance when you all left me to rot. He gave me purpose, power, and a reason to keep going. You might see him as a monster, but to me, He's the one who saw my worth. So don't talk to me about vengeance or misplaced anger. This isn't about revenge anymore. It's about realizing the truth of who I am and where I belong. You think you're the heroes here, but you're blind.
It's at this point, Mordrin steps out from the shadows, her voice a sinister whisper that sends chills down everyone's spine.
Yes, Gilow, they turned their backs on you. They hated you because you're more than them, more than they could ever dream of being. So choose, which one of the four would you like to kill? Make them suffer as you did. Choose and let the darkness claim its due.
Just wait a goddamn second. You don't need to do this. Mordrin is right about one thing. You're better than this. You're better than us. This isn't the way, Gilow. Don't let them turn you into something you're not. Remember who you are. Remember the good in you. We made mistakes, terrible ones, but killing one of us won't change the past.
Oh, you're right. I know it won't change the past. But what it will do is bring me joy.
In that case, you've left me no choice. Touch any one of these guys, and I swear by the very magic that binds this world, by the stars in the heavens, and by the blood in my veins, that I will kill myself. I will end my own life right here, right now. And for me to die because of your actions, nothing will be able to protect you from Vesurial. Nothing. You know this. So let us leave.
Give me either an intimidation check or a persuasion check, Tronald.
That's a 16.
Gilrow's face drops, shock flashing in his eyes as he is taken aback at the lengths you are now willing to go to protect those close to you. For a moment, he seems almost like the Gilow you used to know as the weight of your words sink in. But then, his expression hardens and anger takes over.
Do you think I care?
But before he can continue, Mordrin cuts in, her words silencing Gilow.
You're an interesting creature, Tronald. I don't know why Vesurial has such an interest in you. But know this, the protection you have from him, the barrier you wield with his name, is waning. It will not last forever, and the closer we get to achieving our goals, if you continue to stand in our way, I'm not sure how much longer he will protect you.
Gilrow's fury reaches a boiling point as he listens to Mordrin, sensing that she's about to allow you to leave. His voice is a thunderous roar as he steps forward, eyes blazing with hatred. His body starts crackling with purple energy, raw power radiating from him as he points his hand outward towards you, Tronald.
A bullshit. A narcissist like you wouldn't take your own life. You think you can manipulate me with empty threats and grand gestures? I see right through you, Tronald. You're nothing but a coward hiding behind false bravado. You abandoned me. All of you did. And now you expect me to believe that you wouldn't do the same to them? That you care about anyone other than yourself? No. No more lies. No more games.
The purple energy intensifies, crackling and sparking as Gilrow's hand shifts, pointing directly at Raarh. His eyes narrow and a sinister smile creeps across his face.
Now watch closely, Tronald, as I demonstrate to you the man I have become.
Joe, I fucking rage!
Just as the purple energy around Gilow reaches its climax, crackling with violent intensity, Mordrin snaps her fingers with a sharp, decisive sound. In an instant, the ground beneath Gilow erupts, and a colossal red fist bursts forth, its immense fingers wrapping around him with an iron grip. The fist's grip tightens around Gilow, and as it does, the fury etched on his face begins to fade. The vibrant energy that had been surging around him dulls, losing its fierce brilliance. His expression changes, going completely blank and lifeless, as if all emotion has been drained from him, leaving him as expressionless as a doll. The fist, massive and powerful, slowly drags Gilow down into the earth, the ground splitting and shifting to accommodate its passage. The sound of grinding rock and shifting soil fills the air as Gilow is pulled deeper and deeper, disappearing beneath the crust. The earth closes up behind him, leaving no trace of the horrific scene that had just unfolded.
What did you do to him?
I don't know, but whatever it was, it no doubt saved us from grief that we're really not equipped to deal with right now.
Mordrin's lips curl into a sinister smile as she responds, her voice smooth and dripping with sadistic delight.
Why the sudden concern for your fallen comrade? But if you must know, he was hell-bent on spilling blood tonight. So I merely sent him back to containment. His new home, a temporary prison if you will. Don't misunderstand me. I savor his fiery spirit, his delicious anger. But alas, whatever chaos he intended could have very well created a cascade of events that might jeopardize my standing with the one true God of this world. Now, be gone. Leave this place and heed my advice, all of you. Do not attempt to alter the falling of the chips. They are destined to land where they may, and all your futile efforts will not change that.
Well, that sounds good to me. Come on, guys, let's get out of here.
Agreed. There's no point in us sticking around here any longer. It's obvious we're not needed anymore.
Mordrin, why did you bring Gilow back from the dead?
Mordrin's smile widens, a chilling expression that sends a shiver down everyone's spine. Her eyes glint with a dark, unfathomable secret, but she remains silent. Instead of answering, she lifts her hand, flicking her fingers in a dismissive gesture, as if shooing away an annoying insect.
I'd like to make an insight check on her, Joe.
Okay, what exactly are you looking for, Saxy?
I want to try to discern whether he was brought back for something related to us or a greater goal, or if she knows what purpose he actually serves at all. So that's a 16, Joe.
Saxy, you squint, studying Mordrin intently as she waves her hand and smiles. Her expression is calm and composed, each movement fluid and almost dismissive, yet as you watch her closely, you notice the tiniest flicker in her eyes, a faint hint of something almost undiscernible. Behind that smile, there's a subtle tension. Her eyes, though seemingly confident, betray a fleeting shadow of doubt. Her demeanor suggests control, but you catch the slightest hesitation, a momentary lapse that hints at uncertainty. She continues to shoo you away, her smile never faltering, but there's an almost imperceptible crack in her facade. It's as if she's trying to play off her uncertainty as coyness, masking something deeper. The truth dawns on you slowly. She doesn't fully know why Gilow was brought back.
I step closer to her, Joe. You don't have a clue, do you? You haven't the slightest idea why you brought him with you today, apart from being told to. Do any of you actually know what you're doing? Do any of you possess any backbone, any self-will, any real understanding of why you're following Vizuriel? You're all just puppets, dancing to his tune without a second thought, blindly following orders, never questioning, never thinking for yourselves. Is this really the path you chose? Or are you all just too afraid to defy him? Do you even know what you're fighting for? Or is it all just blind obedience to a power you can't possibly comprehend?
You begin to see anger boil up inside Mordrin. Her composed facade begins to wane, the smile lining her face, now faltering ever so slightly. Her eyes, once glinting with amusement, are now flared as her jaw twitches faintly. For a moment she stands frozen, every muscle taut, her eyes boring into you, Saxy, with a look that could cut steel. Then, with a visible effort, she reins in her emotions, forcing her expression back into a semblance of control.
You insolent little... Leave. Leave now, before I change my mind.
Come on, man, don't look a gift horse in the mouth. Let's get going.
What do you mean? She isn't a horse, she's a woman.
Yeah,
A creepy, magic-using woman with all the weird hand-waving and evil smiles. Horses don't do that. Horses have hooves and run fast.
Dude.
Are you saying she's some kind of horsewoman? Because I don't like that. I refuse to have any hybrid competitors.
She's not being literal, Raarh. She's using an expression. Don't look a gift horse in the mouth means we shouldn't question a good thing when it's handed to us. It's about accepting a blessing or an advantage without nitpicking or doubting it.
Ugh, I'm confused.
It's really not that confusing. Celestia isn't saying Mordrin is a horse or anything. It's just a figure of speech. What she means is, we've been given a chance to get out of here alive. Let's take it and move on before something else goes wrong.
So you're absolutely 100% positive that she is not a horse?
Yeah, dude. She's not a fucking horse.
Because if she was, I'd be tempted to ride her. I enjoyed riding them horsies the other day. It was fun.
Oh my God.
No, Raarh, I promise you she's not a goddamn horse, so absolutely for the love of all things sacred, do not attempt to ride her.
Ah, fine. We will leave it as to be determined whether she is a horse or not.
Dude, she's not a fucking horse. How many times do we need to tell you?
Right, Joe. I'm going to start leaving. Come on, guys. Let's get out of here.
Are you all exiting the city gates then?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I guess so.
Get me the hell out of here.
As you all turn to leave, Mordrin's gaze remains fixed on you, unblinking and intense. Her eyes bore into Tronald with curiosity, a silent question hanging in the air. She doesn't say a word, but her unwavering stare speaks volumes, hinting at her deep contemplation about Tronald's significance to Vizuriel. You make your way through the destroyed gates, the remnants of the battle still fresh around you. The air is still thick with the stench of death and decay, and the ground is littered with the wreckage of broken siege engines and the rotting mounds of zombies. It's all pretty quiet now, aside from the occasional groan of a collapsing beam or the distant caw of carrion birds circling above. You push forward. As you put more distance between yourselves and the city, the oppressive weight of the battlefield begins to lift. Finally, you feel far enough away to pause and catch your breaths. You all stop in a small clearing. The air is cooler here, cleaner. You take a moment to gather your thoughts, the tension of the recent encounter still lingering but gradually giving way to relief. The path ahead remains uncertain, but for now, you've escaped the immediate danger, and that is a small victory in itself.
What the hell was that all about, Saxy? Why were you provoking her?
I wasn't provoking her. Well, maybe I was. I was trying to figure out what the point was of bringing Gilow to us. Clearly it was to have him kill one of us. That seems to be one of Vizuriel's favorite tactics, but to what end? What was the actual purpose of it? It just doesn't make sense. Vizuriel doesn't just do things without a reason. Every move he makes has a purpose, a larger strategy at play, we know that. Gilow is a pawn in his game, but why? Why go through the trouble of resurrecting him just to try and kill one of us?
Joe, can I make some kind of check to see if that was the real Gilow, if you get what I mean?
Sure, man. Give me an intelligence check. For you, you get advantage.
That's a 21 total.
As you reflect on the encounter with Gilow, a realization begins to dawn on you. There was something off, something you couldn't quite put your finger on at the time. But now, with the clarity of hindsight and a sharp intellect, the pieces start to fall into place. When Gilow arrived, you felt a strange, almost buzzing sensation in the air, a faint vibration, almost non-existent, that seemed to hum just beneath the surface of reality. It was a sensation that now, as you think about it, you've only ever felt once before in the presence of Kobe.
I can tell you one thing for certain. That man we saw wasn't a resurrected Gilow. He was like me. He was like Kobe. He was a clone. Gilow, the real Gilow, is gone. What we faced was a creation, a puppet molded to look and act like him. Vizuriel didn't bring him back from the dead. He made a new version, designed in his own image.
So, do you think this new Gilow would be more powerful than old Gilow?
I'd guess so. I mean, he's not going to clone Gilow in his original form, is he? Let's be honest. The old Gilow was pretty dogshit. If Vizuriel is going to bother making a clone, he's probably going to make sure it's an upgrade.
Damn. If that's the way you talk about him, no wonder he fucking hates you all.
No, we never actually talked to him like that. All Saxy means is that he literally died within like 2 days of us starting our main quest. Maybe it was even within 24 hours. I can't remember exactly. I'm sure someone in the comment section will tell us the exact amount of time. Anyway, he had no right to be pissed at us. We weren't exactly all powerful back then. We didn't have the means to bring him back, not even close. We were still figuring things out ourselves, barely scraping by. It's not like we just abandoned him for the fun of it.
Well, I suppose the only fun we had at his expense was yeeting his body into that tree when he started to get smelly, and then referring to his bad smell throughout our journey whenever we mentioned him. I mean, it was just our way of coping with it, you know? Gallows humour and all that. We didn't mean any harm by it, but yeah, I can see how that might have come across as disrespectful.
Yeah, just a little bit disrespectful, my man.
Wait a second, how did he know about all of that? He shouldn't have had any memories from when he died until he was brought back into his cloned body by Vizuriel. Think about it. If Gilow was just a clone created by Vizuriel, there's no way he should have known about us, as Raarh puts it, yeeting his body into that tree or anything else for that matter.
Look, let's not pretend we have any idea what kind of magic or twisted science Vizuriel's cloning process involves. For all we know, this new Gilow could be exactly the same as he was when he died, or he could be a monstrous powerhouse with abilities far beyond our own. We simply don't know, and that's what makes this so dangerous. As for his memories, they could have been implanted by Vizuriel, crafted to manipulate him, or us. Every memory, every thought could be a lie, a twisted fabrication designed to bend Gilrow's will to Vizuriel's purpose. There's just far too many variables for us to start guessing at the how and why of it all. And then I don't know how similar or dissimilar it is to how Lord Tanavir created me either. The methods, the intentions, the potential, it's all a mystery.
It's a damn shame we don't have anyone to talk to about this. I mean, when it comes to cloning, we've got the original G of it all right here with us. But that doesn't count for shit if you can't remember anything, Tronald.
Oh my God, I've got it.
Huh? Got what? What have you got?
Geez, someone's enthusiastic.
We could speak to Asmo about it. I know charismatic Asmo might not have all the answers, but Asmo Prime might. Charismatic Asmo mentioned from the start that he felt a weird connection with me, but we never actually told him that I am Lord Tanavir, did we? He practically confirmed that I was Asmo Prime's master without even knowing it. So, talking to Asmo Prime could be the key. Asmo Prime could have the answers we need. If anyone understands the intricacies of cloning, it's him. We've been overlooking this connection for far too long.
Ah, yeah. That is a good idea, but doesn't charismatic Asmo live in Waterdeep? And don't the people of Waterdeep want me hung? And that Lady Alara might still be there.
Yeah, it is a little risky, but we could disguise you, Raarh. I mean, a clever disguise should do the trick.
Ooh, could I dress up as a giant chicken?
What? No, that's moronic. We're looking to take attention off you, not bring more to you. A giant chicken would do the exact opposite. We need something subtle, something that makes you blend in, not stand out like a beacon. The goal is to avoid attracting any unnecessary attention, especially from anyone who might recognize you.
But I wanted to be a giant chicken.
Look, I get it. You want to have fun with this, but we have to be smart. This isn't just about disguising you. It's about keeping all of us safe.
Hey, how about this? You could dress as a trapper, you know, one of those guys who catches animals for a living. And if you really want to have some chicken feathers, we can hang them off your waistband. That way, you get your feathers, and we get a disguise that actually works.
Really? I could be a trapper with chicken feathers?
Absolutely. You'll blend in perfectly, and you'll still get to be part chicken. It's a win-win.
We wouldn't even be there for too long, just enough to get what we need. But then there's you, Tronald. We'd be taking a big risk with Lady Alara potentially finding out about our visit. If she does, all hell is going to break loose.
You know, maybe Tronald needs a disguise too. Can't have him wandering around with that unmistakable face of his.
What's unmistakable about my face?
Well, you know, it's just very recognizable. People might remember it.
Recognizable? How? Are you saying I look weird or something?
No, not weird. Just memorable in a good way.
Memorable, huh?
Yeah, like distinct. People would notice you, that's all.
Distinct.
Yeah, distinct and beautiful. You've got a very beautiful and distinct face, Tronald.
Well, thanks, mate. I appreciate the compliment.
Maybe just a simple hooded cloak would do the trick.
Yeah, a hood could work. Maybe we could stick a feather in it too, just for flair. We could be chicken brothers.
No, Would you like me to be your chicken brother, Raarh?
Yes, please.
Okay, where are we going to find a chicken then?
Well, they're not exactly uncommon.
This seriously better not turn into a side quest.
We can just be on the lookout for one en route. Shouldn't be too hard to find a chicken.
Nah, we don't need to worry about that. We have Gertrude. She's been on my shoulder the whole time.
Wait, you're telling me you had a chicken on your shoulder for that entire battle?
Yes.
Damn, dude. Are you sure you want to use Gertrude for this? I thought you had a special bond with her.
Oh, I'm not going to kill her. We just need some feathers. She sheds them all the time. Gertrude's part of the team, guys. How could you think such a thing?
Oh, okay, I gotcha. Because for a second I thought...
I just need to expedite the process. Joe, I grab a clump of feathers and yank them out.
Right. Well, that's sorted at least.
Should we get going then?
Yeah. But first I want to use the scrying crystal charismatic Asmo gave me to scry on Lord Jiden. I want to see exactly what's happening inside of White Willow, and if Mordrin and Gilow were telling us the truth.
Yeah, that's a good idea, dude.
Okay, so I'm doing that now, Joe.
Tronald, you take a deep breath and retrieve the scrying crystal that charismatic Asmo gave you. Holding it up, you focus your thoughts on Lord Jiden and the city of White Willow. The crystal begins to glow softly, and your vision starts to blur as the spell takes effect. The world around you seems to dissolve, replaced by a sensation of soaring high into the sky. You feel weightless, your consciousness rapidly ascending above the land. The landscape below becomes a distant blur of colors, a patchwork of greens, browns, and blues. Gradually, your vision steadies and begins to descend, zooming back down toward the earth. The image sharpens as you approach the familiar sight of White Willow. The city comes into focus, revealing the streets and towering structures, but what would be considered as usual activity is instead replaced by an unsettling scene. In the center of White Willow, you see Lord Jyden bound in heavy chains and seemingly on his knees. The area around him is muffled and blurry, the details obscured by some magical interference. However, you can clearly see a huge mass of people standing around the subdued Jyden. A figure stands before the crowd, giving a speech that you can't quite hear. The words are muffled, as if coming through a thick veil. The figure's presence is commanding, holding the attention of the gathered citizens of White Willow. Behind the mass of people, you notice the towering pit fiends, their massive forms casting long shadows over the crowd, their menacing presence unmistakable. The vision wavers slightly, the magical interference making it difficult to hold steady. You focus harder, trying to glean more details, but the scene remains frustratingly indistinct. The chains around Lord Jyden clink softly as he shifts, his face etched with defiance despite his predicament. Your heart races as you absorb sight. It seems like Morrin and Gilow were telling the truth. It's then the scrying spell begins to wane, the image fading and your vision returning to the present. You blink, the familiar surroundings of your companions coming back into focus.
Yep, well, that confirms that then. The city's screwed.
You tried your best, man, but they were just too powerful.
You know, I kind of wish I got the chance to pick up Cass's sword. Isn't it meant to be, like, quite powerful? I mean, I wouldn't replace my sword because I think mine's better, but it would have still been cool to have.
Raarh, I don't think that was the real sword of Cass. Remember, he was a simulacra. That means the Cass we saw was likely just a duplicate, a magical copy. The real Cass is still out there, and so is the real sword.
Ah, I see.
Simulacra can be powerful, but they're far from the original, and it makes sense, now that I think about it. He went down far too easy. If we ever encounter Cass himself, we'll need to be prepared for a much tougher fight. You know, I feel like we were idiots going into that fight when we thought it was actually Cass. Do you know how easily we would have died?
Meh, I don't know. I think we could have taken him.
I like your optimism, buddy, but I'm going to have to disagree with you. Regardless, I think it's time we start making our way to Waterdeep. Shall we put a few miles between us and this city, then take a long rest inside your tiny tower, Tronald?
Yeah, that sounds like a good plan to me.
All right, we do that then, Joe.
As you all agree and begin your journey, the remnants of the city of White Willow fade into the distance. The path ahead is rough, filled with the echoes of the recent battle and the unsettling presence of Cass, Morrin, the pit fiends, and Gilow that still linger in your thoughts. You push forward. After a few miles, you find a secluded spot where the terrain offers some cover. Tronald, you step forward, focusing your energy as you conjure your tiny tower. The tower materializes, its sturdy walls shimmering briefly before solidifying. You enter the warm and inviting space, finding it equipped with enough bedrolls and amenities to make your rest comfortable. One by one, you settle into your chosen spots and drift into an uneasy sleep. And that's where we're going to wrap up this session. See you next week, guys.